Hardy City Council to come to order, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
Dear Lord God Almighty, we, the governing body of our city of Hardy, our city council, our mayor, our recorder, and all others who attend, frequent, and work here. Thank you for a quiet, peaceful place to live, raise our children, and do business. We thank you that you care for us. As a city body authority, we invite you into our affairs of our city. We ask you to grace our activities with the presence of your Spirit, to guide us and help us with understanding and direction. Strengthen us, O Lord, to be faithful servants, first to be faithful to you and also faithful to others. In the name of Jesus our Lord, we pray. Amen.
Thank you. What a ring the bell? No. Oh.
Somebody's phone ring.
I thought that was a doorbell.
Roll call. Allen?
Present.
Barry is absent. Garland, absent. Horrell?
Here.
Taylor?
Here.
Wise?
Here.
You have 4 out of 6. You have a quorum.
Thank you. We will continue. Minutes approval.
Okay, you have minutes in your packet from October 4th regular meeting and the October 12th special meeting where you approved the police vehicle.
I'll make a motion to pass.
I'll second that.
Motion by Taylor to approve both sets of minutes. Second by Horrell. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Any abstains? Motion carries.
Then you have a special meeting.
We did both together.
Okay. So on with the agenda review and approval.
Any suggested changes to the agenda? Okay, we'll leave it as it stands.
Okay, then we'll start with the Hardy A&P report. Should have a pool.
She's already got a speaker even.
Thinking of
Look, it's right at my height. Perfect. Good evening. The minutes from the October 24th AP meeting. Chairman Moore called the meeting to order and led the Pledge of Allegiance at Hardy Civic Center at 301 West Main Street in Hardy, Arkansas. Commissioners present were Horrell, Taylor, Moore, Kaufman, and Garland. There was a quorum. Minutes from the September 26, 2022 regular meeting were approved. Financial report. The financial report was given by Commissioner Garland. The balance of the general fund is $26,975.63. The balance in the reserve account is $51,056.79. Old business. Design for the Hardy card rack brochure. We tabled that until December. Funds owed for the trim. Commissioner Horrell made a motion to take $1,489.90 from the regional events expense line item and pay said for the work on the trim. Kaufman seconded. Roll call vote was taken and motion passed. New business. Charging additional fee for concession room. Commissioner Garland made a motion to continue to rent the front room of the Civic Center for $50, but if the concession area is wanted, they must rent the whole building for $200. Commissioner Horrell seconded, the motion passed. Hardy Gun and Knife Show requesting advertising. Commissioner Horrell made a motion to give $500 from event support to Main Street Hardy for radio advertising if it has not already been paid for by the Hardy Main Street Hardy. Moore seconded. Roll call vote taken and motion passed unanimously. Request for A&P to donate Civic Center rental for food pantry fundraiser event. Commissioner Garland made a motion to table the request from J.D. Marshall to use the Civic Center free of charge for a food pantry fundraiser in order to gather information on how many nonprofits we allow to use the Civic Center. Horrell seconded, motion passed unanimously. Christmas card letter sent to A&P members. Commissioner Worrell made a motion to send a Christmas letter with a year-end appreciation to A&P members. Taylor seconded, motion passed unanimously. Rob Smith Landscaping. Commissioner Garland made a motion to reimburse Rob Smith $407.34 for plants and bulbs out of regional events. Commissioner Worrell seconded. Roll call vote was taken and motion passed unanimously. Adjourned. Commissioner Taylor made a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Garland seconded. Motion passed. Meeting adjourned. And our next regular meeting is set for Monday, November 28th, 2022. Location Phoenix.
Thank you. City financials report.
Okay, the financials are in your packets. Page 6 is the revenue chart. And as it shows, this year's revenue is still well above last year. I believe overall I calculated it at 14% above last year's year-to-date. And then the remaining financials, I've gone over these with each of you pretty much individually as we talked about budget items. So I don't think you'll find anything that's unusual. We should be at about 83% of revenue collected, and we're pretty much on track in most line items for that. Other expenses are pretty well where we knew they would be at this time, especially considering our changes we're going to propose to the budget. And the roof expenses are all, I believe they're all in here as of this financial statement that you're looking at. So be glad to answer any questions you might have.
I got one little thing, our fuel expense here,
Yes.
because fuel will be going up probably pretty soon. Will we be able to?
I think when I looked at this and did for next year, I assumed it based on what it was when it was so high. I had already projected it out when it was high, realizing that it was high. So I think the projection for next year and all of the different departments that have the fuel expenses, I've taken that into account. So, but yes, it was much higher this year for sure.
Are we on the proposed budget yet?
Not yet. It's under new. Okay.
So y'all familiar with the city financials? She'll give you time to review them. So if you have no other questions, we'll move on. The committee reports, fire department. Anything to report on fire department? I know they have one truck that's giving them trouble.
Yeah, we have our brush truck's down at the moment. Good thing is we're out of a burn ban, so and we've had some rain, so we don't have to worry about wildfires. Other than that, Halloween went good. Even though it rained, we moved trucks outside, let everybody come in. They wanted pictures with the fire trucks, they got pictures. Handed out candy and fire-wise information. Other than that, October's been kind of busy for us. We've had a lot of wrecks and medical calls, but that's it.
Wonderful. Did you give away little hats?
We gave a few of them away. We still got some. If anybody wants one, just stop by the firehouse and get some.
I'm gonna see if I can find one technically. Thank you, Mr. Moore. The police department, Mr.
I just got found out 5 minutes ago
That you were doing this?
Well, you're used to being put on the spot in a matter of seconds, so you can handle it.
That's right. Everything's going good. Hadn't had anything major issues or anything like that. Halloween went good. All I know is everything's just as good as could be.
Wonderful. And your vehicle situation, you're in pretty good shape now, right?
For the time being, yeah.
I mean, you're using the new Tahoe that comes from Iowa,
Yes.
the restaurant, right? And Scott's got that. That's a big relief. Well, I'll get to walk away with some good vehicles on the fleet anyway. I'm glad to see
I
that.
noticed he hesitated though on if we should.
Yeah,
Did y'all hear that too?
he liked his Durango. I know he didn't want to get out
Oh,
of it.
yeah, that's right.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
I want to say I appreciate what y'all done down there in my community, back when the fugitives was running around.
Right.
Going to work. I went right on to sleep, and I looked out the window every once in a while, and they was sitting right down there. And I thought, man, them guys, I know we're on sleep, and then they catch him at night at McDonald's. But I appreciate what y'all done, I really do.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Whatever they had.
Public Works
Out
Department.
here last night, it was a big turnout, wasn't it? Miriam.
Well, if Mr. Wise hadn't been informed, I'll speak for him.
I had not been, well, he told me a little bit about the track field, about the.
About
Yeah,
it, yeah.
yes. He said,
We actually got 4 bids, and the most recent one that we got in is, trying to say the name of that company. It's a Bobcat company out of Jonesboro.
Hug and haul.
Hedge Hall,
Is that the name of it?
yeah, Hedge Hall, all in Hedge.
There it is.
Is it on there?
Hug and Haul
Yeah,
Hedge
Equipment.
Hall.
Actually was the low bidder on including all the equipment we needed, mainly the broom. They was getting, put that sweeper in there, which is desperately needed, so it's included in it. And that bid was like $70,963.60. So that's probably who we'll go with, but now,
He said something about maybe some tracks that would.
there's enough money left over what you got out of it
Yeah.
to go ahead and buy the tracks.
Yeah.
And yes, this is a tire machine because we want to run it all
Oh,
over the
I'm
city.
saying, I'm for the tire machine.
But the tracks can be added to it. It's a simple installation.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Moore, Steve Moore said he's very familiar with it. So yes, I think you'd be better off to go ahead and get them.
Oh, yeah.
Get them now, get them new. And this is all new. Everything we're talking about is brand new. It's not used, wore out or nothing. But do we need to get a motion to go ahead and make that purchase?
It's under new business if you want to wait
Okay,
till the
wait, it's
agenda.
going to come back up. But in the Public Works, I do know they're having some problem with some valves in the sewer station. They're working on it. And he told me today, upgraded it. He said he's got part of them to working, so they're not like it's down. The system's working fine. And the reason they're hesitating to put the new valves on, there's a certain way that you got to shut the plant down and bring it back on. That's what they're doing. They don't want to just shut it down and cause anybody any problems. The way they're going to do it, it's not going to interrupt service to anybody. And that's why it's taking time. But they've already got the valve and they're ready to do it whenever the timing's right to shut the system down. And that has to do with the weather. That was his report to me today, and he's still having a few water leaks, and the dump truck had been broken down. It was, I didn't get over to check, but it's supposed to be repaired today and back in service. But they did have 2 water leaks this morning. But everything's going pretty good, according to Mr. Morris. Now, the hail damage repairs, I'm going to let Darlene explain that.
Okay, you approved the bids on everything except the library last time, so we immediately hired Get Her Done and Gone. They came I think the next day, had the city hall done, then the fire station, then Thompson Park, and we went ahead, we got the library money like within a couple of days, so we went ahead while he was at it, he did the library. So everything is done, even the gym is now done, and they had to wait it was about 2 weeks before he got the metal in for the gym. The gym is now done. The only thing pending is the gutters at the gym. And he said that was going to take a little longer. They're 6-inch gutters, so we're waiting for that. But everything else is done. We're working with the Municipal League to get a little more money on some of it. They had not given us near enough for this. They gave us, I think, $5,000 on City Hall. We got $16,000 more. So we came out good on City Hall. And that was thanks to him working with the adjuster and realizing that they had cut us short on that. So I think we have a little bit more to adjust on some of the others, but not much. I think there was 2 layers on one of the buildings that they didn't include removal of 2 layers, and so we'll probably get a little bit on that. But they're all done, and I don't know if y'all have noticed, everyone I've looked at looks good. Haven't heard of any complaints or anything from
I went into the gym right after this last rain. I didn't see any water.
Good, because there was 7 leaks before, and this was a pretty good rain, this
It
last one,
was. I didn't
so
see any water on the floor.
that's good.
Now we're gonna drop back to our street department equipment purchase, no?
Yes,
Okay? That's that skid steer, or, again, we're buying the tire machine with the additional tracks. This bid does not include the track, so I did want to explain that. They're somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,000 to $3,000.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
I don't think this is in their packets, is it?
Probably not. I don't see it.
No, I told
So
them,
nobody has copies of that, okay.
told how much it was, they're all welcome to it. And it will also have, well, let's just go over it right quick then. The sweeper, they call it a bucket, the sweeper bucket, 72 inch. And a 74-inch heavy-duty bucket, bolt-on cutting edge, 74 inches, 80-inch dozer blade, 6-way blade, so it can do ditches and pull the dirt and the gravel out and put it back, move it around, fill in the holes. And a 72-inch brush cat. And this, I'm understanding that's the bush hog. So it will be a bush mowing machine as well. And that is a MO231. It's a S650 T4 Bobcat skid steer loader. And all that equipment. 2-speed power, and it is an enclosed cab. So it can be run during the winter as well. And the heat and air.
Is this in stock, or is something we gotta order, or?
He said it was the most available, though this particular one is the most readily available one, so he don't look for it to take. He wouldn't quote and put himself in a tie.
Yeah.
But we're thinking maybe 2 or 3 weeks at the
Oh.
most. Because I said we'd sure like to have it, but we'd be using it today if we had it.
Yes.
It's something that get used almost every day.
Yes, I think so.
And
I
you also-
motion we'll accept that bid.
What is the total?
$70,963.60.
With an additional 3K for the,
Yeah, 3,000 for the tracks.
I didn't make myself look good and let y'all worry about that. But yes, that's about it.
Does that need to be included for this year's budget? Because in the proposed budget that we all went over, I used the
He
75.
didn't indicate to me how urgent that
soon.
was, so
Okay.
I'm
Do we have the money? I don't, is that money?
75.
You sold it for 75. We did have debt that we paid off, so we netted 63, but
So we
there's
won't have to take
money.
anything out of general, other.
Is there originally?
Well, we'll be taking extra out of the street money,
Yeah.
the 10,660, so the difference in the loan that was paid off from
Well, she
the
keeps
street.
bringing that up, but it's all the same.
But it's true.
She reminded me that we didn't have 75, we had 60 something, okay.
But, yeah,
Well, we're not wasting the
Right.
time, we're not trying to add
Right.
to
It's
anything,
there.
we're making it work
And-
within.
and it is included in the proposed budget changes that I went over with, that's in the proposal.
We saved almost 10,000 by buying the tire machine.
Yes.
They're that much cheaper.
Yeah.
But again, you can put tracks on it for 3,000, so, or I'm saying 3, and
Yeah.
the reason it's not on there, I don't have an exact quote.
Yeah.
They're saying between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay, so motion by
so we don't know.
Wise and a second by Taylor to accept this bid. Roll call vote. Horrell,
Yes.
Wise,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
All in favor, motion passes.
Now, the resolution 2022 Q budget revision of 2022, that, we already went over that one? Is there a resolution
Yes, it's
for
this,
that?
there is a resolution in here if somebody
Page
wants
16.
to. Page 16 of your, and he's ready to read. So. But we need a resolution to read,
I make a motion to let him read.
a motion to let him
What
read.
is this for?
I'll second it.
Discussion. There's 2 budget resolutions.
Yes, this is Resolution 2022-Q, which is revisions to the current year budget. So a motion by Harrell to read it and a second by Taylor. Was it you?
Yeah.
we get the attorney to read it, please?
Vote on it.
Oh, we want to vote to read it first? Sorry. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstains? Okay, all in favor. Now you can read it.
Resolution number 2022Q, a resolution providing revisions in the operating budgets for fiscal year 2022, beginning January 1, 2022 and ending December 31st, 2022. Whereas the City Council has made a comprehensive study, reviewed and adopted 2022 budgets per Resolution 2022B. And whereas the City Council finds that the 2022 budgets need to reflect revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year 2022 as accurately as possible to the projected annual revenues and expenditures according to amendments and recorded transactions per the Office of the Treasurer. Whereas the City Council finds the attached amended budgets reflect those anticipated revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year 2022 as accurately as possible for budgetary purposes and should be adopted as the amended budget governing city operations for January 1, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hardy, Arkansas that Section 1 of this resolution should be known as the Budget Revision Resolution for the City of Hardy, Arkansas for the fiscal year 2022 and shall provide revised budgets for the General Fund, Street Fund, and Hardy Waterworks Fund. All revenues set out herein are estimated and are subject to change. All appropriations are calculated on available revenues. Section 2, the respective amounts of each and every expenditure and receipt herein proposed as the amended budgets of 2022 are approved by the City of Hardy, Arkansas, are hereby authorized and appropriated for the purposes of the one set forth for the fiscal year 2022. Section 3, the City Council hereby adopts the revised budgets as the budgets governing city operations for January 1, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. Passed and approved this first day of November 2022.
So, I think you've all looked them over. Do we want to have any more discussion before you vote on it?
I'll make a motion to accept it as read, Resolution 2022Q as read.
Okay, motion by Allen to approve, and a second by Horrell. Does this need a roll call vote since it's money budget?
I would do it. Just
Okay, okay. Taylor?
Yes.
Allen?
Yes.
Wise?
Yes.
Horrell?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor? Motion passes. Okay, now, Resolution 2022-R is for the upcoming year, and it is on page...
This is just a partial approval of the budget.
This is a 23 budget
Right.
proposed.
Proposed.
Yeah,
Oh.
proposed, yes. Which, of course, the new council, I'm sure, will want to look at and possibly revise, and the new mayor as well. But this is the proposed one from this administration, so we'll have it on the books before the beginning of the year. So again, I think I've talked to all of you, and you've had time to look them over. So let's see. If you're ready, you can entertain a motion to read it.
Mr. Wise?
Horrell. Was it Horrell?
No, I asked Mr. Wise a
Oh.
question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have a question?
No.
Okay.
This is proposed budget for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine. We done discussed all we discussed.
A lot.
I miss it. Okay. I miss it.
Is there a second for it to be read?
Yes.
Alan? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes to read Resolution 2022-R.
Resolution number 2022-R, a resolution providing operating budgets for the fiscal year 2023 beginning January 1, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023 for the City of Hardy, Arkansas. Whereas the City Council has made a comprehensive study and review of the proposed 2023 budgets, and whereas the City Council is required to approve an operating budget for the General Fund, Street Fund, and the Hardy Waterworks Fund for the year 2023. Whereas the City Council finds the attached budgets reflect those anticipated revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year 2023 as accurately as possible for budgetary purposes, it should be adopted as the budget governing city operations for January 1, 2023 through December 31st, 2023. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hardy, Arkansas that Section 1, This resolution should be known as the budget resolution for the city of Hardy, Arkansas for fiscal year 2023. Shall provide budgets for the general fund, street fund, and Hardy Waterworks Fund. All revenues set out herein are estimated and are subject to change. All appropriations are calculated on available revenues. Section 2, the respective amounts of each and every expenditure and receipt herein proposed of the budgets as the budgets of 2023 are approved by the city of Hardy, Arkansas, and are hereby authorized and appropriated for the purposes herein set forth for the fiscal year 2023. Section 3, the city council hereby adopts the attached budgets as budgets governing the city operations for January 1, 2023 through December 31st, 2023. Passed and approved this first day of November 2022.
Okay, any more discussion, questions, comments about this from the council? Okay,
I'll make a motion to accept Resolution 2022R as read.
have a motion by Allen, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Taylor. Harrell.
Yes.
Wise.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
All in favor, motion passes. That is the end of the agenda. Council comments?
Any comments from the council? Any upcoming events? The
Coming events.
bathroom at the beach, the construction boss called me the other day. Plans to start at the wall part this week. The plumbing and electric is now waiting for the walls. And we're looking to get a bid on the roof. We haven't got that yet. But there's a guy wanting to bid it, and I told him, bring it on down here. I'd like to have 3 if we can get them. We'll take what we can get. That's all I have.
Is it gonna look like the other one?
Exactly.
It will look like
With the
that.
exception that it'll have a nicer looking roof, because I'm not designing it, I designed that one. It looked pretty bad. Next year, y'all can change that.
Actually, I thought it was
He keeps talking about next year. He keeps talking about next year.
This is gonna be,
Okay, motion to adjourn, but, oh, sorry.
I asked him to build it like the one on the gazebo, because it'll match pretty much everything we got in the city, the bed they're gonna put in. So he said he was gonna try to look like that one right there by the South Spring Street Bridge, the roof.
Oh, okay.
I think it'd look better than what I built, but mine didn't cost much. But it was it's a satellite dish, and it can be changed if y'all want to. There would have been a motion to be made to be adjourned.
I'll make a
Motion by Harrell, second by Allen.
Yeah.
Well, they got
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.